Hey guys, Graham from Four Wheeling, New South Wales. What am I doing on the driveway under the car? Well, I am going to install a diff breather kit that I recently purchased online. Got the parcel there. Bought it on eBay, it was about $37. I did do an install diff breather kit in the Suzuki, but they were just homemade with some clear plastic tubing and it worked okay, but this time I thought I'll try one of these kits. You see them on there all the time. There's about 1 million suppliers and they all pretty much use the same kit, and all they do is put their own brand name on the bracket, which you'll see later. The bracket holds the 4 or 5 breathers. That mounts up under the bonnet on the firewall somewhere, any suitable area up high. So for anyone that's not aware, a diff breather kit, what it does, if your vehicle's been running for a while and everything's nice and hot, all your drive line and your diff oils and all, and you happen to be doing a creek crossing or a river crossing, as soon as the cold water hits your drive line, the air inside the diff, which has expanded due to being hot, contracts quickly and it can suck water in through your seals. Most vehicles do have factory diff breathers, but usually they're very short. They might only go up 3 or 4 inches above your diff. They're really designed as an outlet, not an underwater breather hose. So what this kit allows for is a cord or a pipe, in the case this blue stuff, to be run from on your diff, your transfer case and your gearbox to up inside the firewall, up under the bonnet, up nice and high, or up high into a canopy or a ute tray, somewhere where it's out of the weather. So I'm going to install it today. Now I think, I'll spin this camera around, but I think that there is actually a factory fitted breather hose there coming off the top of the gearbox, and I have seen one on the rear diff as well. I'll go down there and show you, but I think with a bit of luck, if that does feel like it's just going into the top of the gearbox. I'll use my phone as a camera to get up in there and just double check, but pipe there I believe goes into a metal section here and follows up on the guard on the inside. So with a bit of luck, if that's the case, if that is the breather coming from the back of the car, that'd be ideal. I just don't want to go cutting anything just yet, because if it, isn't that, I don't want to cut something that I shouldn't. So I'll follow that along anyway and see where it goes. I'll take the camera with me and I'll show you down on the back diff. I've got it up on ramps just to try and get a little bit more room under here, just some car ramps so that I can get up onto the front diff, which I haven't actually found the hose yet for that one, but we'll have a look. All right guys, so I'm in a bit of a predicament here. I did a quick Google search and it kind of confirms what I thought. The Navara, the D22, this is a 2011 model, STR, they actually come with factory breathers already. So I found this one here is coming out of the gearbox, out of the top of the gearbox, and goes into a T-junction into this metal pipe. The metal pipe continues, sorry, just trying to bend the camera around. The metal pipe continues along here. You can see there the pipe continues down, across, and up into the transfer case. So that's the transfer case and gearbox covered. The one on the back of the diff, you can see, I'll try and circle it in the footage to save me crawling further down, but the back comes out of the diff and goes up and above, up into the cross member, up under the tray. So technically, if you weren't doing any crossings higher than your tyres, that would be safe. And then the front diff one, I haven't found that yet. I'm going to jump out and look from up above because it's a little bit harder to see. But yeah, basically they go up and there's a bend over hose, which I'll show you. It's the breather outlet in the engine bay. So I'm kind of in the mindset that if it's been done from factory, don't touch it, because it should be engineered and designed for how it's supposed to work. However, I've spent 30 odd bucks, 40 bucks almost on a breather kit, which, what do I do with that? I can't send it back. I bought it over a month ago. I can chuck it back on eBay. It hasn't been used, it's in the packet behind me. Or do I simply take this rubber hose off here and use all the fittings, the barb fittings and all, and just use the kit anyway? I don't know, I'll probably just use the kit, I guess. I don't know, I'm sort of a bit torn between what to do. I'll definitely extend the rear one because that doesn't go high enough for my liking, but yeah, it's a bit of a bugger. Anyway, I'll see if I can find this front one. Alright, so executive decision, I will do the kit. I've bought it, it'll go to waste otherwise, and I'll just keep an eye on it. If the kit seems to work properly and I don't get any water in my diffs when I do the next diff oil change, then I'll leave it, otherwise I'll put it back to factory. So I'll do it as per the specs. So basically That hose there goes up to the top of the transfer case. So I'll simply remove that little lock or hose clamp, then a flat bladed screwdriver prise that up. Hopefully, yep. I was going to say, hopefully that's not an oil line. Okay, so what you do then with a barb, there it is. So that's your barb fitting. We'll go into that hose. Up in there. Hard to get your hand in there. That'll go up into there with a bit of squeezing. It's a good tight fit. Oh, shit, almost too tight. Crikeys. Getting there. Oh, make sure you have your wheat bix first, guys. Now, these fittings that come with it, they do already have thread tape on there, but it's a very minimal amount, as you can see. So I've grabbed some out of the garage and I'm just going to put a little bit around there, which helps seat it better. This thread tape's good stuff. It's cheap as chips, but it's the sort of thing you should always have in your shed. You just simply hook it on. You sort of pull it tight as you wrap it around. Basically just fills in the thread, like so. It doesn't have to be perfectly neat because the thread will soon fix it. And then with the blue hose or cord, I'll run that along the same line and zip tie it, so that can go up into there, like so. Ah, damn it, the only thing I didn't bring was a spanner to tighten that. That's that there, and then the blue hose plugs into that side, which is strange that it's a watertight fit because it literally only presses in there. It's like a barb setup, so that pushes in. I guess like a garden hose, it creates a seal. It's pretty tight. You can pull them back out. So they do make these kits as vehicle specific. I don't know if they use different size barbs or it's just whatever they feel like selling, but I did buy a Navara kit. You can buy universal kits, Land Cruisers, etc. Yeah, that's a snug as buggery fit there. So if the fitting where the blue hose goes in is anywhere near as tight as that, then yeah, it'll be a good kit. So that's that. Turn that a fraction around, and I can run the blue cord around. I'll do the same with the gearbox, and then I'll go and check the back diff and find the front diff. Alright, so this one's the one from the gearbox. Okay, barb up in there. Nice lady barb. Oh, it's a bad dad joke. You can see there, the mark on my hand, you really got to press these barb fittings on there. Good tight fit. Bit of hot water would probably swell them up a little bit, but shove it all the way on. Again, this hose clamp, factory hose clamp, won't come down far enough, so we'll leave it there for now. Same thing, bit of thread tape. I won't use a right angle fitting on this one. They give you, I think it was 3 or 4 in that style in the kit, and they give you a couple of the right angle, which I've done on the transfer cases you just saw. And they also give you a couple of these 2-into-1s, which I thought that wouldn't have been bad because that way you can run the cord from the transfer case into it, then it's not going to work coming out that side. So just pop a little bit of thread tape on this one as well, as previously. Trick to this is if it's too wide for your thread, you sort of pull it a bit tight and it squeezes it thin. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because the thread will soon seat it in. What are you up to, Dougie boy? Rolling around on the grass out here with me. Now I've got in under the car. I don't have one of those little car creepers, so it's a matter of trying to get in and out each time. I've got to jump back out at some point and grab a couple of spanners just to nip those up. They don't have to be ridiculously tight, but obviously you want them watertight. So, all right, that's that one. Tied onto there with a zip tie, or even onto here, like so. And then the blue cord will plug from there and run up into the engine bay. So that's that one done. So gearbox is done, transfer case is done. Let's head down to the back to the diff, and then we'll find this front diff. I'll come back to that one. Okay, so you can see there's the rear hose going up, and it goes up into this little bracket section. So I'll undo that clamp and we'll run it from there along in the chassis rails. Okay, so I found the front diff breather. It's on the passenger side, right. It's sort of hard to get to and hard to point to, but straight through there. So I've got to try and find where the other end comes up, and then we might be able to tap into it. I'll pull this rubber stuff off, maybe might be the gun, then I can at least get into it through the passenger tyre well. So I'll grab my trim clip tool and I'll pull them off and see. And if you haven't got yourself one of these, grab one online. They're in a kit. They're about $8 or $9. I bought them when I put the stereo in the Suzuki. They're just called a plastic trim tool kit or something like that. You can get a few different shapes, different size kits and stuff, but cheap as chips. And what it allows you to do is to get in behind these plastic trim clips and just pulls them out like that because of the prong teeth. I'll show you again on this one. Otherwise you can break, especially on older cars, you can often break the clips because of the plastic being old and brittle, but how good's that? It makes it so easy. That rubber's a bit, whoop, that one's flown right out. All right. So that allows us to get in behind there and see where this diff breather hose goes, directly behind my finger in there. Go down from the bonnet, I'd say, with this one, just pull that off there. Let's have a look. Okay guys, we're making progress. So I've plugged the transfer case in. That's this one here, running around there, across there and up to the transfer. Now I've just pulled the second line down from the top of the engine bay. This one will go into here for the gearbox, and then it's just the rear diff and front diff. Alright, so I can see where it comes up. Down there, comes through a metal pipe up behind the factory air box. There's a front diff breather hose there, so this one's a little bit harder to get to, but hopefully I can pull that hose off there and run the barb straight up and go around the back of the firewall with it. So what I did here, just to make it a bit quicker and easier, now you can see the hose, it's right there. I had Buckley's of getting to it as it was, so I've dropped the factory bash plate off. That normally sits, it's 4 bolts, 2 there and 2 on the lower cross member. I've just dropped those 4 bolts, taken that off, and now I can get straight into it. I can pull that hose off, press the barb in because I had no chance of getting the barb in from up there, plug all that back on, and away we go. Handy to know too, with that pan off, it's going to be a lot easier to do my diff oils. There's the drain plug, which is a nightmare to get to with that bash plate on. So yeah, 4 quick bolts, pull that off and we're done. All right guys, there we go, done. A couple of hours work on a Saturday army. You can see that's the front diff coming up from the passenger side, runs along. I just put it down around the back of the brake booster and up into there. That's your mounting plate that comes with it and the 4 filters. So front diff, gearbox, transfer case, rear diff. Again, it's just EGM Autos, the mob on eBay, I think from memory, that sell them or market them, but these are basically the same no matter what brand you get, all very universal style, and they just put their own sticker on there. So yeah, at least peace of mind, it's covered. The 2 cords go down, or hoses I should say, go down there, and then are all zip tied underneath. The rear diff I couldn't do because the barbs were too big for the hose that came with it, so I'll have to get fatter hose or smaller barbs. So I'll probably do that one either tomorrow or next weekend. Tidy it up, put the bash plate back on, and we're done. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Comment below, have you done your diff breather kits yet? If not, what's stopping you? Are they worth it? Are they not? We'll see how we go. But yeah, feel free to comment below. Give us a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and hit subscribe down in the bottom right corner if you're not already subscribing. Cheers guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next video.